So far?
So around between the early morning hours, around 6:30, quarter till 7, there was we got a call to respond to a person down and shots fired. Officers responded. We did find an adult male. Appears, they're still trying to make an identification. Appears to be in his early 20s, light-skinned African American male, or possibly Hispanic. We're just not sure at this point. What we have now is detectives are on scene. Forensics is here processing the scene. I met with both of them. That's still going to be ongoing. We'll be seeing if there's any type of evidence here in this area. We've got kind of a large crime scene because we want to make sure that we canvass it all pretty well. The individual was transported to an area hospital, and then once at the hospital, he later succumbed to his injuries. So what we're asking for right now is if anybody knows anything or hears any information, that they would come forward. I'll be getting a little bit more information from the detectives. They do have some evidence that they have collected here, but I want to give them the time to do a thorough what they have here at the scene. And we'll gather up this afternoon and see what we can have, if we can release anything else. But that's kind of where we're at this moment.
It seems like investigators are focusing a lot of their efforts outside. Can you say whether or not the shooting took place outside?
Yes, the shooting did occur outside here between the two businesses over in that grassy area. So that is where they're focusing and processing right now. Is where we believe the shooting did occur.
This is the third shooting in 12 hours in the city.
Yeah. I will tell you, with COVID that we've had and the pandemic over the last couple years, we had a great event at the landing in Newport News last night with the fireworks. Thousands of people came out and just had a great time, and then even the evacuation plan of people leaving and getting out, interacting with people, were just good to be out and seen. And I got to interact with a lot of those individuals that just seemed happy. Kids were playing. It was just a great event for our city. And then regrettably, after that, I don't know if there were some disputes. We understand that we had a couple shootings back to back. We got notified of both of those, made sure that the officers were okay. I know that there was a lot of concern in the community. So both of those, I was actually just getting kind of briefed up on that. We'll get together this afternoon to know more. But you're absolutely right. It saddens me that we have a great event. I mean, we had maybe 50, 60 officers, just interaction, fire department, paramedics. Everything was just great at the fireworks event, to see that many people come out and enjoy this city. And then a couple of those incidents happened. So the detectives have been up most of the I encourage in any situation where there's my hope is that citizens will, and I will tell you, we've already got some favorable information here. That's why I don't want to put out more this morning than I have, because we have some information coming in. But I just employ and encourage the citizens of this city that care about this city to just come forward if you hear. I'm not asking someone to come out with a sign and say, I saw it, I'm here to testify. But I'm asking if you have heard anything, you've seen anything, if there's any ring camera footage, any phone footage that anyone might have, that they would call it just, it may be that missing piece that we need. And we have a great relationship with this community and the citizens here. A lot of people have already called and come forward. Others are calling, say, how can we help? But that's the best way, is to get involved. If you see something, to say something. I'd much rather be on the proactive side, but when we have an unfortunate incident like this, we just have to rally together and do the best we can to solve it in a timely manner and try to bring some closure. It can never bring someone back or remove an injury that's happened, but hopefully there's some closure. So I just ask that the city would come together, citizens and neighborhoods that these situations happen in, businesses here, and I will tell you, I could not be more impressed with what I've already heard this morning. We just have to go through the process and try to find those that are responsible for this situation. Hopefully there will be some more information. I'm fairly confident there will be some more information this afternoon, but I want to allow them to process this scene.
How do you bounce back? How does the city bounce back following 3 shootings in the past 12 hours?
I think in any city, in any police department, it is challenging, right? And when I talk to these detectives, most of them have been up through the night. When I talked to the assistant chief, we didn't leave last night till well after midnight, and then the other calls come in and things will start fresh this morning. What we can't do is just say, you know what, there's nothing we can do, we just give up and we hope things get better. We just have to stay vigilant. I've been doing this job almost 30 years, 4 years here in Newport News. When bad things happen, you just got to keep pressing forward, right? We had a bad a bad last 12 hours. We stay focused. I want to make sure that these detectives stay motivated. I don't want them to get frustrated. I wanted them to know that they're supported. I want the city to know that we're not going anywhere. I want the business owners to know that we're not going anywhere. But we need their help, right? It's all of us. All of us are in this together. This is a great city, but all of us have a part in ownership. Public safety, police, it's every entity that we have. It's citizens who live on every neighborhood, every community. It's businesses who work in those community. That we're all in this together, and that we're not just going to walk away and throw up our hands. We're just going to stay vigilant and press forward. I'm going to encourage again citizens to come forward. I'm going to make sure that the officers are taken care of. I need to get them some rest, but I want to get a good briefing before I get them home, and we'll be back at it. But I've heard some good things this morning. I'll get briefed up further on what happened last night. But I will tell you that just with the number of citizens that came out, and what we saw in Illinois, I was concerned. Right, and we had some really good discussion. We made some last-minute adjustments, so I was a little frustrated about the incidents that happened last night. My heart goes out to families of loved ones that were injured last night, and my heart goes out to the family of this young man that we'll have to make a notification to later today. But we just have to stay vigilant.
And obviously one of the shootings was 2 juveniles. You said this shooting, this fatal victim, he could also be in his early 20s.
That's what it appears.
And it's more young people.
Yep.
And something we've talked about before, something that's seen. What message do you have to young people in the community out here?
I think that we can do the best we can on trying to be proactive and solve crimes once they occur, but I think at some point people have to make a conscious decision. These aren't video games, right? People don't get up and walk away after it's over. This is real life, and firearms and rounds that are shot up in the air, even the celebratory gunfire. When you shoot that comes down. And we may have some stories about that later today, but there has to be a conscious effort that I will tell you this, for young people in this community that choose to be involved in firearms, 2 messages. One, you're better than that. Your life is more valuable than that. You have so much more to offer than life than picking up a firearm and pulling a trigger. But the other message is that that's the life you choose to do in this city, that we are not going to tolerate it. The residents aren't, the businesses, the Commonwealth Attorney, the police department, the sheriffs, we're not going to tolerate that. And that's why these individuals have been up here all night, because it matters. We're going to try to bring some resolve to the families of victims who have been hurt. But those that are thinking about it, contemplating it, whether it's a neighborhood dispute, an argument, access to firearms, gang issues, whatever it might be, youth, frustration, whatever it might be, there's no answer. There is no answer in pulling the trigger. You wreck a victim's life, you wreck a victim's family's life, and you wreck your own life, and not to mention their family's life of the suspects. And now are they worried about retaliation? Are they being arrested? They're spending the next 20, 30 years in a correctional facility. It's young people. I'm telling you, you're better than that, and we have to do better.
Just one last question for you in reference to this scene. 6:45 sounds like a pretty busy time of the day. Pretty busy intersection here. Do you know how many people might have been here? Was it just a couple of people, multiple people, in and out, coming out?
So we've talked to individuals that have been in the area. We've talked to individuals that are familiar with this area. We've talked to our businesses. Like I said, there's some good information coming forward. I don't have an exact number of who all was here, but yeah, I travel this way to work every morning. And you're right, there are a lot of people out. There are a lot of people that drive by here. So that's why I'm asking anyone who saw anything, anyone run from the scene, anyone at the scene, anything at all, someone that might have been in a store coming out or going in, to just come forward. And I've heard of some of those already happening, so I just want to give them some time to come forward, okay? I'm going to get back. I want to hear the briefings about the other things. I need to make some notifications today. So I'm sorry I don't have more for you, but hopefully we'll this afternoon, okay?
Thanks for always talking with us.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.